Um, what I not after hours, of course. I'm more focused on the long term when it comes to investing. As far as like all-time highs or stuff like that, um, I like to kind of think till 2030. That's how Sorry guys, that's how I like to think with the stocks that I'm invested in. I like to think till 2030. But if I was a betting man, if I was a gambling man, I would say that from these levels where they're at today, Neo has at least conservatively a 70% upside in the short to near term period. So this is a great time to add, in my humble opinion. I'm not one of those people to get on YouTube every day like Neo $85 price target, Neo $120 price target in the next 2 weeks, in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. That didn't happen. People have been putting that type of stuff out there for a long time. The truth is, I think that these are the times to shop. There's a lot of deals out there in the market. It's not even just Neo. If you've been looking at a company, we're all like hyper focused on growth and technology stocks with more investors in the market. Those types of things become more prevalent. They get talked about a lot more than maybe like a value play. If you look at a stock like Disney, through the whole quote unquote correction, last time I checked earlier this morning, Nasdaq was down about from 2 to 3%. Correction 10 is about 10%. But Disney appeared to be unfazed. It's actually up for the week. Last time I checked. Um, so there's like this kind of rotation going on from growth and tech to value right now. A lot of people don't. You said you're gonna buy a new hat. So why do I wear this hat all the time? Because I made this hat. Um, I used to have like a clothing company. That was one of my dreams, my aspirations. Start a clothing business back in the day. But at the end of the day, if I want to buy a new hat, I can buy a new hat probably 2,000 times over. But I wear this hat because I made this hat. Some celebrities actually endorse this hat. It's tragedy to triumph. That was a message that like meant something to me. I carry that message throughout the way I live my life, throughout investing, all those type of things. So, you know, but at the end of the day, like I was saying, I see 70% upside from Neo in the near term. What do you think about Givo? I haven't checked on Givo. I've been getting a lot of comments saying to check on Givo though. But this is what the companies will wait. We're almost there. There's more people coming in. We'll wait till we get some more people on here. Keep it coming with the questions though. Um, Neo, green skies ahead. Not blue skies, green skies. That's what it's looking like. This is a great time to add. In my opinion, are you still in on TBLT? I actually added to my position. I probably increased my position by 1/3. So through the market volatility, it was a good time to take advantage. You're from Ohio, nice. That's my neighbor state. So you're right there. I might be moving soon though. I might be moving to Austin, Texas very soon. So we'll see about that. Um I strongly believe Neo will be back in the 60s next week, just my opinion. That would be epic. That would be great. You wouldn't want to miss out on something like this. Thank you for the super chat, Makan. I appreciate that. That is very nice. I don't get many super chats. Um, and I actually forgot that was a feature, so thank you so much. I appreciate you. Still feeling good about IDEX? Yes, sir. I increased my position in IDEX as well. Or no, I didn't increase my position in IDEX. Actually, I did. So very slightly though. Very slightly though. Um, I was thinking about increasing my position in IDEX because it's everything dipped. Like I said, it's the market's on sale right now. We don't know how low it's gonna go. I'm not gonna go and try and time the bottom. I'm gonna put little by little in as it drops. It makes more sense than putting little by little in as it goes up. But the thing with market psychology or investing, and I'm just a student of the game, I'm no professional, but people tend to add more and more and more as it goes up because they become fearful. They see a stock going up and they're like, I need to get more before it goes up too high. As it drops, people are like, oh my gosh, what's going on? As stocks drop, you're going to make more money long term if you're in a good company. As stocks increase in value, you're going to probably make some more money short term uh, if it's a good company. But if you have a long time horizon and you have a higher than most risk tolerance, you should be adding as stuff goes down, from what I understand. Got calls on IDEX, strike $4. Nice, nice, nice. I have calls on IDEX, strike $1, never let them go, diamond hands till 2022. You could just imagine how those have been performing. I've posted those on the channel. I talked about it on the channel. People were saying IDEX is a scam. People were saying IDEX doesn't have enough cash on their balance sheet to sustain themselves, which is absolutely incorrect. From my understanding, they have around at least upwards of 280 in cash on their balance sheet. So whatever cash they're burning right now, that's fine. They're figuring out their business model. They're buying revenue. They're buying revenue generating businesses. So that's what it means for me. That's why I chose to go with IDEX. I see a lot of potential in there in the future, and even before the correction I say, because correction should be at least 10% before we start throwing that word out there. It's around 2 to 3. IDEX was undervalued, in my opinion. I didn't go like crazy on IDEX. I didn't make that a huge part of my portfolio because it's still a speculative play. And I do make and I have made a speculative play a huge part of my portfolio before. I made Neo a speculative play, a huge part of my portfolio before it took off. But it's time to put my mind to the test and kind of like figure out, okay, Neo was cool. Can I find other companies that are going to increase in values? And interest rates are pretty much at zero right now. In my opinion, that's why we're experiencing this correction, because interest rates are at zero and investors are fearful of interest rates increasing. So you got to understand where companies are going with zero interest rates right now. You really have to understand, what's this company going to look like in 2025? What's this company going to look like in 2026 and 2027? Um, because it's likely to, even if there is like a valuation reset, like Kathy Woods mentioned before, if this company is very promising and the growth is just very good by 2025, zero interest rates won't matter. These companies can grow into their valuation. Kathy Wood said a company like Tesla is going to more than grow into their valuation. Um, so Tesla has potential to more than double in value. I've been watching Tesla. Now is an opportune time to add, but I'm not adding. I'm just being patient. I've added some stuff. In fact, if you asked me what was I looking for to add, later on in the future, or what was I looking to add in this moment right now, I talked about Clover for a reason. Um, Clover keeps on dipping. It's getting a little bit cheaper. People are saying Clover's undervalued. It's time to add Clover. I waited a little bit. Clover's a little bit cheaper today. It's like $9, and I seen it at like $9.30, I believe. I don't remember exactly. I would have to like pull up the charts and stuff, but it's in that $9 range. People were saying it's a great ad right now at 11, and I don't disagree. But I'm watching the VIX and things like that. Uh, really good job, Obi. Thanks for your knowledge. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. You send another super chat. You are literally. Um, what are you expecting for deliveries for Neo on the first February deliveries? When I think about February deliveries for Neo, um, A lot of people are saying it's the Chinese New Year. There's going to be a pause in how much they're able to deliver, but like at the end of the day, I think orders they're backlogged. So orders are backlogged. And then number two, there was zero down financing for the car, so you didn't have to pull out um, the amount of money that you had to pull out originally to put down on the car and buy it. So when I think about a company like Neo, I'm gonna say 7,200 deliveries to 7,400 deliveries for February. I might be completely off, but that's my expectations, or not even expectations, but my estimate for February in terms of delivery. And as far as Neo, I'm not the type of person that like watches companies month to month or quarter to quarter. Neo, you can watch month to month on deliveries, because it is in the auto industry, and there's insurance registrations, and then on top of that, they also report the numbers. Um, but on top of that, like I'm the type of person who thinks like long term. There might be some headwinds in the short term, but if this company has a good fundamentals, then in the long term, where's it going to be at by 2030? That's my type of thinking when it comes to any company. Like people will say, like people have asked me in the Discord, they're like, "Are you selling TBLT? It dropped. You're supposed to buy low, sell high. I'm not gonna buy a company at a low point, watch it go to that high point, and then sell lower. No, I'll add more to my position. If you loved a company at 5, you should really love a company at 2 or 1. And these are there's a couple penny stocks that I'm in. Only 2 really, Yoshin and TBLT. So I've done my research on those companies, and if I think about them like that, then the framework is good. What they're doing is good. It makes sense to me. There's an overall hiccup in the market right now, then it's just an opportunity to add them. Been there, done that. Learn my lesson. We all have. We all have. I've bought high. I've sold low before. Then I learned my lesson as well. It's those type of things. But everything we go through in the stock market, it's an opportunity for us to learn. I've lost money. I've lost money recently. I've lost money last week running the wheel on Neo on some calls. I bought some calls. I was up about $700, 62.50, and that money I set aside, I knew I was just gambling. Next thing you know, the entire market dips, and that's what we're seeing right now across the market. I lost about $3,000 in the market, to be quite frank. This was last week or 2 weeks ago. But I take that experience and I learn from it. And I usually don't do short-term calls. If I play with options, I usually do longer term. So my extrinsic value doesn't diminish as quickly, and I have the time to make more of a decision. So we all learn. Um, what's Clover? Clover is a healthcare company brought public by Chamath, guy who is deemed as the king of SPACs, quote unquote. There is an ongoing lawsuit going up against them right now, which was brought about by the short selling firm Hindenburg Research, who also was shorting IDEX when I was buying it. They were shorting IDEX when IDEX was around like under a dollar, I believe. And IDEX at a time pretty recently actually hit $5.50. So Hindenburg's going through the same. I mean, Clover is going through the same type of thing, in my opinion. Um, but aside from that, um, Clover is a business model that I really get behind. When you think of yourself, like when I think of myself as an investor, I think of myself as a person who sits in a chair and people come to me or come to the public, and I'm part of that public with ideas to solve problems. This is the best way to solve this problem. This is the best way to solve this problem. This is the best way to solve this problem. and they're solving a really important problem, a problem in the healthcare industry. What's insufficient in the healthcare industry is that business value doesn't equal consumer value. These there's a lot of drugs that are being promoted um, just to drive revenues for these corporations. If a person over the age of let's just say 60 goes to um five different physicians, they're probably going to get five different diagnoses. And I'm no healthcare expert, by the way, but they're probably going to get five different diagnoses. So they have software, Clover Assistant, which is helping physicians make the best decisions in the healthcare space, helping them reduce variability. Data is entered upon every use. It gets used around 20 out of 100 visits for every client. So about a 20% engagement rate. Um, and then on top of that, it's just like, how can we reduce variability to provide better outcomes for the patient, for the consumer? How can we get closer to business value equaling consumer value? And that's what I see in Clover. On top of that, it's a software company. It's trading around $9. Software companies typically have do better at scale. They have higher margins. The margins are crazy. I'm in a company like CrowdStrike. That stock has pretty much um over 3x, just to kind of vaguely give the performance. But on top of that, it's like, aside from that, they are a software company. I mentioned that already, right? They're also a insurance company. They're Medicare. They're 17% cheaper than their nearest competitor. Um, Chamath said this himself. In the future, why wouldn't people in the future? It's going to be one of those things of hindsight. People are going to say, oh, yeah, of course we want cheaper Medicare, right? So I look at a company like Clover, and he says there's three ways to categorize an emerging company. There's experimentation. That's too risky to get in. um After experimentation uh comes product market fit. Product market fit was the Tesla Model 3. People didn't understand Tesla then, but the Tesla Model 3 has shown that it's scalable, right? He says that Clover, he believes, is at the early stages of product market fit, and that's when you want to get in. And then after product market fit is scale. When companies start increasing in value, and then people start paying pretty much crazy valuations for them. So when I say I'm trying to make a big position in Clover, I'm telling you on this live stream right now, not financial advice, of course, but the truth. If Clover is in the I truly believe that Clover is going to be a big company if they can overcome this ongoing investigation that they're going through from the SEC. But I like Clover as a company. I'm somebody who thinks that the healthcare industry, there's a lot of corruption going on in the healthcare industry. But if I can invest in something that can make a difference, that's important to me. Life is not just about money for me. And I like a company like Clover for those reasons. And then on top of that, if we kind of look at the fundamentals, as far as the Clover Assistant, they're releasing new versions of it every 3 to 4 weeks. I put out a video about Neo and how quick and swift iteration is happening in the automotive industry. Uh, Consumers are demanding more and more and more technology out of their cars. Well, guess what? If you buy a car in 2021, most people aren't going to buy a new car till 2025. There are those people who are going to lease a car. There are those people who are going to lose money on a car, which is a depreciating asset. But majority of people are going to stick with the car that they have for a while. So when I connect that back to Clover, they are iterating fast. That's what's happening right now in software. The people who can iterate fast, put out information, stress test it against the people that it's used by, and then make a new product. Clover is doing that every 3 to 4 weeks. They're iterating very fast. So I think that they can get to the point where their software is used and used on a more broader scale. Um, as far as what they're doing right now, they're iterating very fast. They're figuring out what works, what practitioners like, and they're using it. So that's why I like a company like Clover. Uh, for um, for those of you who ask what's Clover, keep your eyes out for Rivian. They're an EV company. I know what Rivian is. I believe they have a deal with Amazon, right? Um, they're is that the one that's backed by Bill Gates as well? I haven't been paying too much attention, but you said they're an EV company that makes trucks and off-road vehicles. They've already got vehicles on the road, unlike many others. They're going to IPO around September. I'll keep an eye out for that one because what I like is that they actually already have a working product, like you said. Um, if we think about a company like people say, what do I think about CCIV? I get asked that question very often in on multiple platforms and stuff. Kind of what I think about a company like CCIV is that they've got their and I'm not trying to knock the company in any way. As an investor, I have to be skeptical. They seem like a one-hit wonder. The Lucid Air is a premium vehicle. It's a premium sedan. When we think about the Neo ET7, it's a premium vehicle. It's a premium sedan, right? So that's not even what Neo is generating revenue off of right now. That's the only thing that Lucid Motors is generating revenue off of right now. There was never any need to speculate on a company like that. So what, it doubled in value. You have to um, practice risk management in a market like this. Um, so I never bought CCIV. And I did a live stream like this probably like a week or 2 weeks ago where I talked about where I even addressed that I'm not buying CCIV. I talked about that in the Discord. It's a trap. That's what I basically said. I didn't buy CCIV. It dropped in value. There was a bunch of people that got burnt holding the bag. We need to focus on companies that are um one showing a lot of potential, and I don't discredit Lucid Motors from that, but like at the end of the day, they don't have a working product. There's a lot of things going on in the EV space. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things and increasing their range every year. Neo, for example. Why would I go invest in a company like CCIV? And a lot of people got burnt holding the bag, and that was just a lesson to learn. Maybe it is time to invest in CCIV. I don't know. I don't need to invest in every electric vehicle company. My portfolio has enough exposure to electric vehicles, if that makes sense right now. Rivian, I can check out. I can see what's going on there, what's happening. Um, but CCIV, Lordstown, or not now Lordstown Motors, CCIV, aren't they not aren't they something that's like a long-term play where you're not even supposed to think about till 2025, 2026? There's companies right now where I can get in, like a Neo per se, at a cheap valuation today, and by 2025, I'm expecting a lot more out of it than I'm expecting out of a CCIV or Lucid Motors. It's like $14 right now, somebody said. I think somebody was telling me the other day that it's like $30. A lot of the ways that you have good performance in the stock market, in my opinion, and I'm not somebody that's been doing it for too long, but I'm somebody that hasn't failed in the stock market. I'm somebody that succeeded in the stock market on a short-term basis, at least. I've outperformed hedge funds. Um, a lot of the success that you have is with the stuff that you don't invest in, the stuff that you don't pay attention to. You don't need to spread yourself too thin. You don't need to invest in everything that everybody else is investing in. There's those OPEC guys, those guys who live and die by oil. They only invest in oil. I think oil will be here for a while, for longer than everybody thinks, before we move towards electric vehicles, which are gaining market share, more and more market share every year. But that's their circle of confidence. That's what they know. That's what they love. That's what they understand. We don't need to go say, okay, I need to buy Bitcoin. I need to buy Ethereum. I need to buy XRP. I need to go buy oil. I need to go buy tanker companies, all these different things. That's not true. Just anybody who invests, look at Elon Musk, richest man in the world. Why do you think that is? Only because of Tesla stock. Just invest in what you understand, in my opinion. That's what I would do. And I have to keep saying that because um I'm not giving financial advice, but hope that makes sense to people. I see why I'm subscribed to you. Keep dropping gems. Thank you. Rivian also has Ford Motors backing them too. And that makes a lot of sense to me because if you think about a company like Ford, it's almost like a bureaucracy, right? There these bigger players who have been here for a while are going to be a lot slower to move. That doesn't really mesh well when you think about innovation. With innovation, you have to make decisions on the fly. You have to say, okay, this isn't the way to do it. Well, we got to do it this way. And that has to happen a lot quicker than these bigger companies are allowing for it to happen. So for example, I don't know if this was William Lee or President Lee Hong Quinn over at NEO. They said sometimes we can't sleep at night because we're wondering if we made the right decision or not. Um, that's not going to happen with a bigger company. They have a bunch of long-term shareholders to appease. These bigger companies are in professional manager mode, and they can't move as quickly because there's much more of a hierarchy. That doesn't happen all the time. So to invest in a company like for Ford to invest in a company like Rivian, that makes sense for me because it's like, okay, we're gonna invest in Rivian, and they have their ear to the streets. They know what's going on, and if they ever have to pivot, they ever have to make a quicker decision than we typically make, then they can do it. We're invested in them. So a decision for like a company like Ford to invest in a company like Rivian makes sense because once you get so big as a company, it becomes more so about, hey, what can I buy now? What can I acquire now? Acquisitions. Facebook, they have Instagram. Um, a bunch of other examples really, but like these bigger companies, they've got a model to hold to, and they can't really switch on the dime like that. A company like Neo, they're just making their way, and you're still early to Neo, is what I would say. To anybody who's like really thinking about Neo, you're still early to Neo. We are in the early days.